Hey.
Mawlz on the track, baby.
Who is it? It's you?
It might be.
It's you? Hey.
I could have loved you lifetimes. You were something like my lifeline. You don't feel the same, that's a shame, it's alright.
This girl got so much talent.
I'll be just fine. Who gon'
It's
love
crazy.
me better than I love me? Who gon' be there, put no one above me? Who gon' love me?
You can find this track. It's called Love Me Better, LUHMEBTR, and it's on Apple Music, Spotify, all the places.
Grab that ASAP.
ASAP. And we back at it again, man.
We back at it.
Episode 2.
We got a great guest for y'all. You know what I'm saying? My boy Josh, he's a professor. He's black. He's young. He has a beard.
He has a beard, y'all.
Just
That's
saying.
all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. You know what I'm saying? But
He's
coming
a
on
classic, man.
a little later. We'll bring him on. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
we gonna jump into these topics for y'all because that's what they came for, right?
You know what I mean?
Y'all came to fuck with us, and we came to fuck with y'all. So we gonna give y'all some good topics to talk about. First thing we talking about is that man KANYE,
Kanye West, y'all. The one and only. Yay.
the one and only KANYE. Well, actually, it's Ye now.
Kanye
You know
is
what I mean?
no more. And now
Yes,
she's
yeah.
apparently hooked up with Pete Davidson, which was kind of out of
That's
left field.
crazy.
But you know what?
That's
I
crazy.
say whatever makes her happy. He seems like a funny guy.
Yeah.
You know, must be something going on.
But you know what I love about KANYE? He's just, maybe because he's a Gemini, I
Yeah.
could relate to
Y'all
him.
got that in common.
We definitely do. He just does him, and he's like unapologetic about it. He
Yeah.
just does him.
I respect that about him as well, because as much as you might disagree with him and be like, wow, he's crazy sometimes,
Yeah.
he's just living his truth, whatever that might be.
Exactly. But I respect him as being like a visionary.
Yeah.
He's a great dad. Everybody knows that. Like, come on now. He's
A legendary, iconic artist. Nobody could take that away from him.
of course. And he's just a visionary, and I respect KANYE, man. Salute to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Did you hear the latest album, the Donda album?
I did.
What'd
and
you
I'm gonna
think?
give you my real opinion.
Yeah, let me know.
And
100%.
KANYE, I mess with you.
Disclaimer.
I wasn't feeling it. I
Yeah.
wasn't feeling it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
What about
my
it?
real opinion. All right. What about it was
Yeah.
just.
Did you listen through the whole thing?
All right, so I'm biased because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Kanye fan, and I could like go back to graduation.
Yeah.
I could go back to Jesus Walks.
So you
know
one
what
of
I'm
them,
saying?
you one of them people who's like, I miss the old Kanye.
Yeah, but I love the direction he's still going in because
Uh-huh.
he's still being authentic to himself, and he's just trying to like branch out and do what visionaries do.
Yeah,
You know?
it's true. And you know what? A lot of
You know?
times with artists of his stature, he's done so much that like
Yeah.
what he's doing now is new to him, and he doesn't really care if you like it or not. And he doesn't really need to. Like, he's established himself
True.
enough, and he's got a solid enough die-hard fan base that no matter what he does, it's still gonna do well number-wise.
That's facts.
You know?
I think what I didn't like about it was the comparison. You can't compare Drake to Kanye.
Well, and so and
You
you know how he
can't-
like held back
you-
like from dropping because he didn't want to drop around the same
Yeah,
time
yeah,
as
yeah, I
Drake or
remember
whatever
that.
it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, you can't compare them. But it was just unfortunate. And Drake, both of them knew what was going to happen when they dropped in the same like quarter. You know what I mean?
I honestly think they was on a group text. Like,
They
bruh,
probably were.
This is our marketing
And
strategy.
that's so Hollywood because it's like there's a
You
lot of
never
things
know.
that go on that are really like for PR, and we will never know. But you know,
Exactly.
they make it a controversy, and they make it something people can hype up and talk about because then you gains more traction, you get more viewers.
Exactly.
So I see that from a marketing standpoint, 100%.
No, seriously, because come on, academics, the whole
Yeah.
world was like, "Oh, CLB is better than Donda." First of all,
They're not even-
He named his album after his deceased mom.
Yeah.
How can you compare "Certified Lover Boy" and
You
those
can't.
those quotation marks? We'll take those out because Drake, I fuck with you heavy. But you can't compare "Certified Lover Boy" to Donda.
And honestly, it
You know what I'm
wasn't
saying?
even in the
it
same.
wasn't fair to begin with.
It wasn't even in the same vein of hip hop to me because to me, Donda was more of a gospel album or like a,
It
you know.
was. Yeah, it
and
is.
then you have Drake
Yeah.
who's just dropping like radio hits and making songs for the strippers and making songs for the clubs and stuff. So it really is
Exactly.
no comparison. But for me, I listened to Donda all the way through, and I kind of felt the same. Like it really didn't do too much for me. Like
it
there was a couple records that I thought were cool and that I liked, but a lot of it for me was just kind of like, And one thing I noticed also is that I don't know if he meant to do this or there's like an underlying meaning behind it, but there was so much repetition in the album. Like in every
Yeah.
song. It was like, you
know what
know,
you mean.
I just felt like the whole 2 minutes of the 3 minutes was him saying the same thing over and over and over and over. And I'm like, I don't get this.
Hey, Kanye always got a plan, man. You gotta just,
Like I said, no hate, but it wasn't for me either. But blessings to
Yeah.
Kanye, blessings to Drake. Y'all both great artists.
But to stay on the Kanye topic, I just like, he's just so unorthodox. And he just does so much shit. I just heard that he punched a fan out.
Yeah, they like approached him. Wasn't it like downtown LA? They approached him at like 3 in the morning.
I don't know if it was
I don't know if it
LA
was
or not.
LA, but
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
somewhere, and it was 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And they pulled up on him, and he was in his car. I'm sorry, but like, first of all, you just don't do that to nobody in general. Secondly, it's Kanye, so like you should
definitely
expect the
don't do
most.
that.
Exactly. He's the last
definitely
person
don't
who's
do
going to
that.
be happy to see you and be like, hell yeah, let's take a picture.
Exactly. Everybody has had that like moment where, say if it's a bum or take that back, homeless person, whoever it is, comes to your car and you like, hold on, what are you doing? Like, imagine you were a billionaire, you were a celebrity, you protecting your brand and your family and everything. So if you come to me and I'm at that stature, definitely I'm gonna be like, hold on, who are you? And if you come at, it's two sides to every story.
Yeah.
The fan could have been like, hey, yo, Kanye, fuck you, you're a bitch. Like, I hate
Absolutely.
that. And he probably just flipped out. And there's nothing wrong with that.
And
know what I'm saying?
the fan might have even been super nice, but Kanye just wasn't in the mood. So, one thing with celebrities is like they're people too. You can't expect them to always be on a good day and expect them to be wanting to give all the time. Like they need their personal space as well.
Facts.
Another topic, or not another topic, but to add on to the whole Kanye thing. So you're saying he's unorthodox. He's always speaking his mind. I personally did not. I mean, I'm not Kim, and like I don't know Kim, whatever. But I felt some type of way for her whenever a couple months back he got. I don't know if he was on stage; it was for a show or something. But he started telling their business about like like the pregnancy and the North and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that was hella out of pocket because I'm like, A, you just should never speak on what goes on between you and your wife, especially if it's something that intimate.
True.
And B, it's like if you really are sorry and you want her back, now you're just gonna blast it and air it out to the world. Like, how's that helping your cause, bro?
That's definitely true. That's definitely true.
Like you as a man,
see, okay. But I fell victim to that before. I learned, which you have to like do shit to learn from stuff.
Right.
So I learned social media is not the place for your personal business. I don't care how mad you are. I don't care how sad you are. I don't care how happy you are. Just don't show it and post a meme.
Yeah,
Like,
and for
or just post.
I was gonna say for
You know what I'm
females, for
saying?
me, like if I
It's
might
just
be in
don't
my
do
feelings,
it.
I might post a meme or something talking about, I start posting my little inspirational quotes and
Yeah,
shit. That's how we
everybody
get it
posts
out.
subs. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm never going to like at you and then like tell like the stuff that we talked about when we was good.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? That's just
Yeah.
like that's not, what do they say? That's not P.
Shout out Gunna. That's definitely not P. I don't care. Like I said, mad, sad, glad. You got a big blessing. You want $1 million. You on your last dollar.
Yeah.
Don't post it on social media.
That
you know what I'm
part.
saying? Social media is really, that's our layer topics, but it's like, it can mess with your mental health. It can
Yeah.
mess with other people's mental health. Just watch
Absolutely.
what you post, watch what you watch. And
still, like, you can maintain your authenticity. But for me, it's more so just like, if you're gonna post your business, let it be your business. Don't be posting everybody else's, people's close to you who used to be close to you's business, because again, it's just not cool.
it's not P.
Not P at all. I just learned what P was like the other
You
day,
did?
because somebody no lie, this makes me sound so like behind, but and shout out Gunna. I don't really like, I'm not a huge fan where I know all of his shit, but I know who he is.
Same here.
And so what happened? I posted something and somebody in my DMs commented and they were like, the blue P, and I had to go Google. I'm like, what is the blue P? I don't know.
I watched the Breakfast Club interview, and it made perfect sense. Like Charlamagne was like, "Bro, I'm in my 40s. How can I use P?" And he was like, "Okay, if you go to the mall, and whatever he said, you gotta watch."
He made an example.
Like perfect example is this is P, Mawlz And Donn.
Yeah.
We had an idea, we brought it to life.
Right.
P.
Right, yeah, and for y'all who don't know yet what P is, we're gonna put you on. So basically, if it's P, it's good. It means that you're like a person of integrity. It means that you are a positive person. You're pushing forward. It's like about growth, motivation, and being a real one. If it's not P, then it's the opposite of all those things. So you're welcome.
Exactly. Like Kanye posting his personal business, that's not P, my guy.
Mawlz
That's
And
not
Donn.
P.
P.
P. Exactly. Perfect example. You know what I mean?
Oh Lord.
So just to get off Kanye real quick,
yeah.
I just want to talk to you real quick. So how's everything with you?
Everything's been cool, man. Ever since we shot the last episode, I've been doing some PADs, which is Patient Appreciation Days.
Okay.
I think I mentioned in the last episode that I was in cannabis for about 6 years, like working in dispensaries.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
recently got out of that, and I'm now freelancing and doing gig work because I wanted to have more time in my schedule for like the studio, creative ventures, and such.
Gotcha.
So over this past week, I did 2 Patient Appreciation Days with a small cannabis company called Hit It. And what I
I've seen
do,
that.
yeah,
Seen
what I do is I go into dispensaries where they sell that brand. I was at Pack LA on Thursday, and then today earlier I was at Dr. Green Thumbs downtown, which is a
Gotcha.
Be Real shop. So what I do is I just go in there and I tell people about the promos, and then I'm giving out free weed and giving out the freebies and whatnot. So it's a cool little side hustle, and I was enjoying that. It's a change up in my schedule, you know.
This girl's so humble. That last episode we shot, after that, she took me to a great session. A great session.
Shout out Da Vinci, shout out Hammer.
Exactly what I'm talking about. Big producers, man, engineers, and it was a great session.
Gotta connect good people with good people.
But you can learn something from this girl. She just so humble. Like, she just like, I'm just been chilling. No. Molly is really an example for you young ladies that you don't have to speak on what you're doing. You don't have to post what you're doing.
Right.
Just do it.
What Lil
what I'm
Wayne
saying?
say? He said, "Real G's move in silence like lasagna."
That part. Hey, you know what?
Bars.
It took me so long to catch that bar.
figure out what that
I
meant.
mean, years. He was like, real G's moving silent lasagna. I'm like,
You're like, what the hell does lasagna have to do with anything?
I like lasagna. I don't, but yeah.
Oh Lord, thank you. I appreciate that though. I
No,
mean,
seriously.
and for me,
Seriously.
I've been around so many people who are doing big things, and that's how they all move.
They
You know what I
do.
mean?
They
It's like
really
you don't
do.
want to tell people what you're doing.
Yeah.
You want to show them,
That's
it'll come
that's
out once you
facts.
put the work in and the product is finished. That's when they find out.
Hey, I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been that young artist trying to just be cocky. Or
Mm-hmm.
everybody chase clout. If you're an artist or even a business person, you try
Mm-hmm.
to chase the clout. I've been there. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
People see straight through you.
absolutely.
Like, for real.
Especially
You can't-
people
you
who've been in the
can't-
game a long time. That's like a red
Exactly.
flag for them. They're like, oh, okay.
It took me a minute to get around people that actually is really doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I see them and they're like, I ask them how they day been. They probably would been with a big artist or something like that.
They
Like,
never say it.
They'd never say it. They'd be like, oh, I've been cool. I was working out, just chilling. It's just that humbleness, man, it goes a long way. For these young, these young artists that's listening or young entrepreneurs, just do you and do the work behind the scenes and everything else come to light. You know what I mean?
So since our last podcast, what you been up to?
Oh, I've been getting this album ready.
I was gonna say, I know we got First of Many coming.
Yes, man.
Are we still trying to drop? That would be tomorrow, right?
No, it would have been today.
Oh, today's the 21st.
So if
You're
you
right.
watched the last episode, I got it. Like I said, I learned. I got ahead of myself, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna drop it the 21st. I said, you know what? No, I'm not gonna drop it.
You're like, I don't feel ready.
I don't have my rollout.
I need to be ready. Yeah.
For artists that don't understand what a rollout is, that's basically building up your project. It's basically just letting the people know it's coming. It's basically a marketing strategy.
Right.
So I didn't have that ready. So I'm like, I could just drop a random album. I'm not big enough. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it 100. I'm humble. I'm not big enough to just drop an album like Cole or Kendrick. Like,
And expect it to just blow. Right.
of course not. So I'm just working on my rollout and get my mixes right. You know what I'm saying? We got a session later, like you said, with J Classic. That's part of my rollout. That's part of my process.
And finishing touches for me, like in my artistry, I'm super perfectionist. So like,
Yeah.
if I'm about to drop, if I was ready to drop the album or EP, let's say for myself, like tomorrow, and then I listen back and I hear like an out of place ad lib, or like this part could have had like less tuner or whatever it is. And you also, in the same vein, you don't want to be overcritical and then stop yourself from releasing
Definitely.
anything either. Like at some point, you just got to call it a day and say, okay, it's ready for the world. I just got to like let the reins go and just like let this do what it needs to do.
No, facts.
But I agree with you on like needing to feel secure and confident in
You
what
have
you're
to.
putting out.
You have to. And it's like, just take your time and stuff. Because
Right.
literally, you're on nobody else's time.
Especially when you're upcoming.
On nobody else's time.
Yeah.
If you're an artist, if you feel that anxiety, like, oh, I gotta
Mm-hmm.
do this, you really just like, put it this way, the moment you start doubting yourself, you lost.
It's all bad because if you don't believe in you, who's going to?
Seriously, if you don't really believe, like, okay, I'm going to do this day, this time,
Mm-hmm.
this hour, no matter what the results are, I'm gonna take it for what it is.
Right.
And actually, stuff starts coming to you. It just comes to you naturally.
And
instead of
that's
forcing it.
something to be said too, is like, you don't want to just be completely like up in the air with things. Like, you do want to set goals and stick to plans as much as you can, but you have to allow for flexibility as well. Like, you know, you can't expect yourself, especially when you're learning and upcoming, to be perfect at everything. Even some of the, you know, major artists aren't to this day.
Facts.
But they've accepted how they work, how they roll things out, like what they need. And as long as you're happy with your product and you believe in it, that's how you get other people to accept it and believe in it as well.
Facts. So from that, first of many, I'm going to turn up now. January 28th.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to 215s. Shout out J Classic, Swaggy on the Beat, 30 Killer Beats, Bino Rado, Josh, my boy Joshua, my boy D3 the Rockstar.
Right.
I kept it simple and short. I worked with 4 producers, basically the whole album, 3 features, 1 major feature, well, everybody major. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's time. It's Don Johnson, man. We going up. Let me chill out.
Nah, get excited.
I'm just happy. I'm just
so
excited.
much work goes into these things. So like,
so much
I
work,
love to
man.
see people excited about releases, because it's like, you've been on
So
this, and
much
now the
work, man.
world gets to hear what you've been up to and what you've put your money and blood and sweat and tears
Thank
into.
you.
So be
Thank
excited, man.
Thank
Be
you.
excited.
Thank you. All right, so let's move on. It's not about us. Let's go on to this tsunami warning that's
That's in effect.
That was
So,
kinda weird.
of course, you know how it is. You wake up and you pull up the gram, and all of a sudden you seeing some wild shit like, oh, here we are, just a month into 2022. What else? What next, y'all? And the tsunami warning, I mean, so my dad called me up too, and he was like all concerned. And he's like, so what's going on? Like, I heard it's a tsunami, la la. And I'm like, honestly, it's sprinkled like twice. The wind's been a little strong, but as far as I know, I ain't seen nothing crazy yet.
Exactly.
And people who I know living by the beach, they have said, you know, of course, like the waves have been a little wild and such, but nothing too intense. So right now, fingers crossed that we don't see anything else.
I got the news. My boy Josh, shout out Josh. He send me random shit all the time. He like, bro, tsunami warning, West Coast. I'm like, oh shit.
Now, did you panic?
No, because I ain't gonna say where I live at, but I'm out the way. I'm an hour away from LA. I'm from Long Beach, but I'm an hour away. So, you know, like,
He said,
I don't stay by any waves. I'm not in the city right now. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
yeah, so.
What's messed up is like,
I was concerned, though.
what was scarier than the tsunami, though, has been just the city. We talked about that last week, but, you know, I mean, despite...
we can speak on it.
Despite tsunami warnings, like, the city is still going a little crazy. A lot of robberies, man. Like, and have you seen? I've seen the news talking about cops when they interview the people who they're catching and getting caught up doing this. They just laugh at them, and they're like, it's a misdemeanor now. Like, we get like a $500 fine, they let us go. It ain't no big deal. So we gonna keep robbing.
Yeah, of course. When the governor,
Thanks, Gavin Newsom.
I was about to say, Gavin Newsom signed the law, whatever it is, that if it's under $1,000, you basically get out the next day.
Right. Now,
so it's like,
why do you think that was done? Is it because they don't have enough manpower? Is it there's too many people doing this shit that they can't persecute everybody? Like, I don't know. Like, what is it?
We're not a conspiracy show.
No.
All we're gonna do is say our opinion.
Yeah, we're just bouncing off, you know, what
our
we think.
opinions. My opinion is that. All right, let me think about this before I say anything. My opinion is that our real opinion. Our real opinion. Nah, it sounds too crazy.
What? No, you can say it.
I don't like conspiracies. I don't like. Okay. My conspiracy is, or my thought process is, the fucking EDD. Before that, martial law. They signed the law when Obama was in office. Okay, this is my, you know.
I'm listening.
So they give EDD came out, coronavirus. Whoever made it, nobody knows. We can say who made it: China, America, Russia. Who knows?
Who knows?
So that came out, and they gave everybody this free money. Now it's like, okay, now the rioting, looting. Now we're going to take all that away. It stops immediately. Now everybody's back to square one struggling. And now everybody's doing all this crazy shit, which goes back to martial law.
Okay, see,
That's
full
just-
circle.
that's
I mean,
just-
honestly,
that's
I
just
feel,
my
I see it.
opinion.
I see what you're
I
saying.
mean, I can see the army, you know, tanks come through LA, like it's getting too crazy.
That happened.
They already had curfews. They already said you have to wear a mask to go in the club, to the restaurant, to grocery stores. It's already like slowly becoming like.
So what you're saying is that you're thinking that allowing this or making it less of a crime or a less punishable crime, you're saying it's kind of actually enticing people to do it more so that they can bring that in.
Of course. But what I will say too is I watched a lot of shit, man. Shout out Nip. Shout out all the fucking greats that have visionary. I don't want to say too much. No, I'm serious. Like and that's a conspiracy. That's just me how I think. I don't want to say too much.
I mean,
all I'm saying is martial law is a thing. You can look it up. You can Google it. America, they want control. I mean, what government doesn't want control of their
population?
Come on, it's a business.
It's true. Follow the money. That's what they say.
That's
what my dad always taught me. He said, you want to know, get down to some real answers about some shit? Follow the money.
Seriously. I mean, I don't want to be too woke, but at the same time, I don't.
Well, you also I feel like we also have to give ourselves some credit because I know people always clown people for being like, oh, what you did your research on Google or the internet and la la la. But if you think about it, at one point in time, you were only able to be fed information through the media that they wanted you to have. And now you have the internet where you can go and look at different opinions, varying opinions, different sources, and you can kind of do some research for yourself. Now, I'm not saying we're all out here with PhDs and knowing what's going on, but I would say we should give ourselves a little bit more credit for being able to read between the lines and being able to put two and two together.
100%.
So.
Or just like standing on your ground and just stand up for what you believe in.
Yeah.
Very important. I can never tell Molly if she says something like I don't agree with, I can never tell her she's wrong. That's her opinion.
Exactly.
Same thing with music. If I put out a song, this person doesn't like it, that's your opinion.
And it's not for them then. Too bad.
Whatever I said, if you don't agree with it, you be like, oh, you tripping, all right, that's your opinion,
Yeah.
But that's just what I think. I think the world is really coming to like I don't know. I don't fucking know.
I feel like the world is coming to a place of reckoning in a sense, and it's a social reckoning because there's a huge division right now, and it's not just politics. It's like, I mean, a lot of it all stems from politics, but you've got the left versus the right, the vax versus the unvax, the this, and it's so tiring to me, honestly.
It really is.
And it's the one thing that keeps people from being able to do anything positive is the division. It's like unity, y'all. What happened? But they keep it rolling like that. It's on purpose. To be honest,
it's never been a unity thing.
Will it ever be?
I don't
know.
What
would it take?
Hey, I don't know. I'm a black guy from Long Beach. This is a
white girl from Pittsburgh.
I don't know exactly what I'm about to say. This is a white girl from Pittsburgh, and we doing it.
That's true.
So why can't the world do it? It's that easy. Like, it's not hard to do.
It's just about respect. It's about respecting other people. That's all it comes down to, and not having such an ego to think that everything you think or believe or have experienced is the only way or the right way.
Exactly.
There's no such thing. Yin and yang, like the balance. Anyway, y'all get what I mean.
That's just what it. No, seriously, this is a good topic. I want to speak on it more. It's just like, if I cut myself and she cut herself right now, accidentally, whatever it is, we both bleed the same. We're all human race.
Exactly.
And we just want to spread positivity on this platform, motivation.
Yeah.
And just give people just open your minds.
Let them know anything is possible. And like you said, you can just call up your friend. Y'all want to do something? Sounds like a good idea. Sounds like fun. Do it.
Do it.
Life is short. Life is fragile. You only have so much time to do the things you want to do.
It's 2022, man. You can be a doctor. You can be a professor, like our guest coming on next. Shout out Josh. Or you can just do Instacart and still make $6,000-$7,000 a month. I see people do it all the time.
Exactly.
And some people actually go to college to make $6,000-$7,000 a month. I'm serious.
There's lots of different ways.
It's 2022. It's no limits to the shit, man.
Exactly. All you have to have is a little bit of ambition, a little bit of hustle, light the fire under your own ass, because that's another thing. Just like if you don't believe in yourself, nobody will. If you don't get up and go to work, ain't nobody paying you, and your bills ain't getting paid either.
Exactly.
So figure it out.
Exactly. Figure it out, man. Have faith. So now, let's get some juicy shit.
Okay.
Let's get into relationships.
Woo!
Ooh, shit.
Oh, boy.
Shit. I don't know. We ready to talk about this shit, man.
First, let's start off with, you single or in a relationship?
I'm single. I'm
also single. So
I'm currently single.
That's good that nobody's going to be feeling some type of way.
Oh, no. So we probably not the best give a relationship advice, but we gonna give it anyway.
Since we single, we might not be the ones to be telling you the shit, but we gonna try.
I do know a lot of people right now that's recently single, and it's like 2022 has been a bitch.
Yeah.
For relationships, it's been I don't know what's in the air, but it's just like
I feel like just the last 2 years even.
Yeah, but this is me personally. I know 5, 7, probably 10 homies that's just like going through, bro. And not saying they perfect. I don't know what they do. All I know they call me and they vent to me like, bro, like what the fuck? I'm doing everything right, and this girl just doesn't appreciate me, or she just doesn't see it, or she did this or she did that. Mind you, they never talk about what they did.
Of course not.
I know, but to be honest,
Y'all men are good for that.
Nah. You know what it is? Because guys, we don't expect much.
Okay.
All we want is somebody to cook for us. You ain't got to clean. We clean about ourselves. You know, just be a motivational partner. Just be our just best friend and fuck us here and there. Like,
sometimes, no.
No, all the time. All the time.
Right,
ladies.
now you're not asking for much.
Ladies.
You're not asking for much.
All the time, ladies. And I'm just saying that, yeah, so what do females really want from a guy? 2022, you a female.
I am, and I can't speak for all females, of course, because everybody has different experiences and different wants and needs. But I think if I had to, guess or assume the core basics of what women want, you want somebody who's going to be loyal. You want somebody who has stability and goals. Yeah, you want somebody who is a protector. Not saying that they got to like beat somebody up necessarily, but we'll stand up for you and back you up.
No bitch. You can't be a bitch.
Exactly. You would also want somebody who is like a best friend. Exactly. You want to be able to laugh with this person. If you're going to be spending, let's say, they say the rest of our lives with them, then you got to have enough compatibility where you're not going to get bored, and there's always like you can sit in comfortable silence, and there's you can't have too many things I feel like clashing. Like if y'all like hate the same type of music, one's a vegan. Now this is actually interesting. I've never
opposites do attract.
They do, but I was thinking to myself, it would be hard. It would be hard to date somebody maybe that like if they're a vegan and you're like, I could never really live that lifestyle because I just like love eating how I always did.
I can't be with a vegan.
You couldn't do it?
No,
because like, and that's what I'm saying. So some people's deal breakers can be one thing, or it could be something more character based.
I mean, I'm gonna go to Jack in the Box and you eating asparagus for dinner. I got 2 tacos and a water cup, and you got a fucking carrot. I mean, if that fills you, I'm saying though, if that fills you up, all right, cool.
Right, and it's just like it's those little tiny details, like points of contention, where it's like, okay, this is kind of annoying because now every time the things I want to cook for you, you're not gonna eat it, and vice versa, and like that would just be annoying over time. I feel like, but then again, if everything else is perfect, those are the things you make exceptions and you sacrifice because you actually love that person and you see everything else is perfect. You don't want to ruin it and throw it out over one little dumb thing like that. Now, mind you, it would have to be everything else pretty on point, but. Yeah,
that's true.
So, anyways, but that's like the generally I think what women want.
So, what if all the things you name a guy is doing, and then some man? I don't want to get into my personal shit.
Okay.
Everything you name, I feel like I did, but the person I was with still didn't see none of that shit. I say none of it, but like they just
like it wasn't enough. Still.
You gotta talk to her, man. I don't know. I just feel like I did everything, and I'm not even in my personal business. It's not y'all business, you nosy motherfuckers. I'm not about to do that. Like I said, Kanye, you don't put your business out there.
Right.
But I'm saying hypothetically, if a guy is doing everything he can, sometimes they just want a soft. They ain't gotta be soft. This is a female that's gonna really just like
if you can
appreciate it.
If you can lead, and we feel comfortable with you leading. Then a girl will be naturally submissive. Like even the most alpha female, if she feels you can comfortably lead her, will be naturally submissive. So I don't know what it is that maybe this hypothetical person did or didn't feel or see, but obviously there was some type of either resentment or issue where there was she was dissatisfied with something. Like who knows? And it could be something that you don't even know about that she was thinking about.
Yeah, not to cut you off.
Yeah, no, that's all I was gonna say about that.
Oh yeah, now sometimes people just not happy with themselves. That's what my advice is. If you get in a relationship, make sure all your baggage is left at baggage claim. Don't bring that shit with you. It's not your luggage. You go to the airport. You see the round table. It's not your baggage. Don't fucking pick it up. Leave it there. Take what's yours with you that you can carry. That's a bar.
It is.
But you can carry, you can handle, and then somebody else probably help you with your bag. They probably take it off your back and help you carry that shit. But don't get into relationships if you're not ready. If you're not spiritually, mentally, financially is a big thing. And just not ready. Because I will tell you this, Guys, man, we're so simple. And we like really just want to look, we just look for this like fun, chill girl that can twerk and fuck the shit out of us. And it's so simple.
You gotta be able to twerk.
Especially if we got our own money and our own hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't
And like
don't look
while
for
that
much,
all sounds
you
well
know?
and good though, it's like life isn't that simple though, and things do get heavy and things get hard, and it's like you can't always expect your girl to always just be lighthearted and fun and ready to fuck all the time. Like sometimes she's gonna be tired as fucking busy from work, and she's dealing with her misogynistic ass manager who gives her shit, and she's dealing with all the shit that comes with being a woman. So it's like you have to always remember that as well. It's like people are people. You can't expect perfection from people because we just aren't. That's what makes us perfectly imperfect.
All right, so we'll get nasty right now. Every nigga don't eat pussy, but period, a nigga will eat they girl pussy like it's like nothing. It's just natural. They'll do it.
They do?
They want to
All
do
of
it.
them? Really?
Girls, I mean, I don't know everybody. I'm just saying niggas eat ass and toes and all type of shit out here. I'm just saying for instance, hypothetical. How you think I got this beard? You know
Oh my God.
No, I'm saying for real though. It's like, what I'm saying is though, girls gotta like, come on, man. That's why it's called hit it from the side for a reason. Like, man, you better toot that shit over. If a nigga working hard and especially, all right, this is what y'all don't understand.
Okay.
If you got a good looking nigga that his whole life has had females, that has his own money, own ambition, he asks you for nothing but just motivation, probably sex and some food. That's 3 things.
Right.
If a girl can't do that, that same good looking dude, I'm searching real game. They go cheat on you, or they go stay there and be miserable, and then eventually
still cheat.
No. Because I don't cheat.
Okay.
I had before.
Disclaimer.
No. Keep this in the episode. I had, but this is real shit. I had before my younger self.
Yeah.
A man has to grow out of his whole phase to not cheat.
Your less evolved self. Now you evolved.
That ass serious.
No, I believe that. I mean, it's not
I'm
that far
serious.
off from women too. Sometimes, depending on how sheltered you were, or how like whatever you were growing up in your beliefs about sex. But women aren't that far off either. It's like everybody go through their little phase of figuring out what's going on and what they like and what they don't like. And then as you get older, you know, your wants and needs start to change, and the things that even make you sexually attracted start to change too. Because it's like before you just had to look good. Now there's other things that need to be there too.
No, facts. No, 100%. But what I'm saying is like Molly, no cap, she's a great. We just bouncing ideas and just like giving y'all kind of like some game and just talking general like broad shit.
It's our thoughts.
But she really is a good girl. So we're not talking about her. We're talking about, all right, change the subject. Let's get on these girls because really I'm like kind of like fed up with these 22 females. That you gotta have a bag, you gotta have to do this, you need this, you gotta drive
ones.
this. No, this is too much. You gotta wear this. You don't dress nice. Your hair not this. You're not this tall.
So like materialistic shit.
Bro, these females out here, y'all is tripping, and that's why the marriage rate is.
You know why I think the marriage rate is?
Why?
Is because, and this is actually, I was talking with a friend about this the other day.
Okay.
I think it's a new age generational thing, because if you think about it, not too long ago, like less than 100 years ago, like women really needed a man to survive and to have a good life. Like, you know what I mean? To live in a house and have children and a family with, to be, you know, provided for, because you couldn't either work or the pay you were getting was no good. Like women still get paid less than men to this day. It's a fact.
Do they?
Yes.
No.
Absolutely. Look it up. Google that shit. Google it. Anyway, so going back,
right
look at it. Going into that point though,
Shit.
so
I'm gonna Google ahead.
So anyway, so women were really dependent, right? Because they had to be,
later.
and they couldn't even get certain like job titles. They couldn't even vote at one point, right? So anyways, now fast forward to 2022, women are independent as fuck out here, a lot of them. So it's like
Beyonce.
Thank you, Beyonce. And so with that said, it's like we used to need y'all, and now it's like a lot of us just, if you're around, it's because we want y'all. It's because we want y'all around.
See, now she hit a trigger that triggered me a little bit. That's what men don't like. We want a woman to need us.
Okay, but why?
Because we need y'all, and we show that we need y'all.
Okay.
So I show, if I say I'm with a girl, girl, yes, I need you, I love you. That's what guys do. You're my backbone. Whatever it is, girls would be like, well, nigga, what you do for me? You ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. And it's like, what? Like, they thought we was
And I'll give you that because it's like maybe it's because we've stepped into our independence for the first time and we're coming at it harsh like that because it's the first time we ever could. And maybe that's why it's like a radicalized thing now. But honestly, these dudes that you're talking about who like eat pussy all the time and who are these good, where the fuck are they? Because I would love to know.
Beards.
If they got a beard, he might be the one.
No, they're not serious. But like you said, we were talking about earlier, it's all about balance.
Yes.
You can't be this Miss Independent, I want this, I want that, and you not even being feminine.
So basically what you're saying is the independence is taking away some of the femininity for y'all because
100%.
you feel like she's like, oh, well, she just don't fucking need me then at all. Like, then it was like, fuck her too then.
Put it this way, I won't say what ex, but I have exes that have fucking, say if we about to get in a bad argument, and she don't even shed a tear. I'm like, damn.
Like, do you have feelings?
I told her straight up, I don't want to be with no nigga. I don't want to be with a man. What the fuck? You better show me you care, and that sometimes you ain't got to shed a tear. But this is something that you be like, all right, fuck it, I'm out of here. Fuck this relationship. Blah, blah.
Yeah.
No, babe, like come back. I had girls like that.
So you want her to chase you a little bit?
Of course.
I'll take that though because nowadays I think one thing too I've noticed is like nobody wants to chase anybody. Like it's too much of an ego thing. Everyone's like, nah, I need to be the one chasing. If I'm not, then I'm out. And it's on both sides.
That's what I hate. Like what happened to like, no, fuck that. Like remember the old
like people
songs,
fighting for each other and stuff.
The music nowadays is like,
yeah. Oh well, that's a part of the problem too.
I don't fuck with you, you stupid ass bitch. What happened to the old songs? It's like,
right. Like
distant love. No, that's not a good song. But you know what I'm saying though. It was
let's stay together.
Let's stay together.
Loving you well. You got it. So you're right, and I miss that music, and I miss that mentality too. But you know, like maybe we're aging ourselves with that. But I'm a little worried for little Gen Z out here because y'all just don't care. All your friends is dead. You don't have no feelings. Like whatever the hell else.
Yeah, man. It's,
I don't know, y'all.
It's fucking nuts, man. It's fucking nuts. But get on our personal business. Y'all take from that. All we saying is that I'm gonna say what I want. All men want is just females bring it back to that feminine shit, man. That just show your nigga some love. Like not one time of the week, every day of the week, babe.
As often as you can.
How was your day been?
And
because niggas has been like really kind of like simps, and really like, and it's sad, but it's not even like. That simp word is like, no, it's just like real, just being genuine.
I hate the word simp too because that word took over like for a good man or like love. Yeah, exactly. And now, of course, like women have kind of, some women have made it so that that word came into play and it was looked down upon to do those things. But it's because those same women knew that they were about to take advantage of that. So it's like they set themselves up for that. But for me, you know, you had, like you're saying, women, this is all I need. For me, men, all we need is y'all stop being too cool. You know, like you show your girl a little love, you know, a little PDA sometimes here and there. Don't have to be extra, but like let her know that she's like kind of claimed or whatever. I feel like guys have an issue with that nowadays. Like they don't want to post if y'all like.
Ooh,
but it doesn't have to be that to prove the relationship either.
No, it doesn't.
It's just
but everybody.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I mean, go ahead. I want to hear what you had to say.
All I want. All right. Miss Johnson, I have a song on my fucking album called Mrs. Johnson, and it's not about nobody. It's just about, man, period, what I want. If you out there looking, baby, I'll see you, baby.
Future wife.
Hey, if you a good woman that can, like I said, fuck cleaning, I can clean myself. If you could just cook a little bit, fuck me, wake up, motivate me, wake up in the morning, play some good music, like, babe, what's on your mind? What we doing today? Here's a shot. If you want it, whatever it is,
drunk. It's
good vibes. You go to work, I go to work. We come back, same shit. How was your day? Oh, you did this? You made this song? Ooh, I love it, man. Whether you like it or not, it's just like, and I'm be like, babe, what you do today? Oh, you did that? What? Your manager said, what? Oh, fuck him. And then we take another shot, and then we fuck, and we go to sleep, and we wake up and we repeat it.
So you just want to be on the same page.
I want to.
Mutual respect, same page. That's all.
It's a best friend, girls. Like, it's your energy. I know girls have emotions that we not born with, but y'all still got to understand that we can't understand y'all.
But you have to try, at least.
Girls are from...
You should try.
We try, though.
And through communication. That's all. Really. Just getting down to basic communication.
How does it say? Girls from Venus, we from Mars?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. You know.
There's differences. But the thing is, anybody who's really dedicated to making it work can, and communication is key.
Boom. Any guys, if you want to get hurt, you better come through me.
You got to go through my bros
you
first.
You better come through me first or come through her other bros, and you better come correct because it's a real woman. Period.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Facts. So Miss Mawlz, segue about this music shit, man. So how did you like even get into music? Like, how did you even
getting into music? So
the beginning.
The very beginning of it all. So I grew up singing with my dad. My dad's a guitarist. Grew up singing with his band in Pittsburgh. So I started that early. Like I remember songwriting as early as like, I don't know, 8 or 9 with some of my little friends from, elementary. And my little notebooks would be full of poems and lyrics and such. And this is actually funny. So my first experience recording music, remember having a house phone?
Definitely.
I used to take our house phone out to the end of the driveway because I was too shy to like sing in the house at the time, but I wanted to hear how I sounded to get better. So I used to take the house phone out to the end of the driveway and sit, and I would call our house so it got to voicemail, and then I would record myself in the voicemail, and I would fill up the voicemail, and then I would just go check the voicemail and play them all back. I remember one time my mom caught me doing it, and she like picked up the phone and heard it, and I was so embarrassed. I was like, get off the other line. But anyway, so I've been doing it for a long time, and throughout high school, I did, musical theater, and I was acting in plays and doing all that, sang in the choir in church. So it's been a part of my whole life. My dad really was the one to put me on, though, and also introduced me to just so many genres, and that's why I have such an appreciation for all styles of music to this day. And then as I got older, of course, once I graduated high school, realized I was, getting in studios, songwriting, recording some records, and I really wanted to run with it. And so I started doing my thing in Pittsburgh. That's back when I, opened for Twista and Snoop and all them. And I did that, and I put all that together on my own. I've like literally never had a manager except for once. And so then, got signed and came out here, and I've just been at it ever since.
Dope.
How about for you?
All right, so from the beginning? To be honest with you, let me think. Okay. I remember like being a kid and just always loved music. Like this something about music just like made me feel good or whatever. Like before I even touched the mic, before I even knew what music was. My older brother though, shout out Marquet. His name was Marquet Fairley. Google him, check him out. He's probably the reason why I got into music. From his story, my older sister and my older brother was in the band, like in Poly. They used to play the fucking trombone and drum and shit. And then at church, we went to a church called St. Luke. And I sung, I don't know if you know the song Silver and Gold. I sung that song. My brother played the keys. I was 8 years old. Some reason I told him, like, man, you know what? I want to sing. He said, what? I said, no, I'm serious. I want to sing a solo. Something told me to say that, I swear to God. And he just, okay, talked to the pastor, made it happen. I sung Silver and Gold, Silver, all that shit. Man, I'm telling you. And the whole congregation stood up at once. And I'm like a kid, and I'm like, bro, I'm crying. I ain't crying like bawling, but I had tears from my eyes.
Yeah, you were inspired.
It was scary, it was scary as hell. But it felt good at the same time. So they all stood up. If you go to a black church, they start shouting. All the time. They made me sing that song 3 times every Sunday, and I don't like that. I don't appreciate that. They kept inviting me. I'm serious.
He said, no, I didn't appreciate that. He said, I just wanted the one solo. That was it.
That was it. But then from there, I didn't do music. That was like elementary, so now I'm in middle school. Didn't do music. I was playing basketball my whole life. My older brother, they're in high school now. Like I said, they was in a band and all that. And then during high school, he started a band called Mulatto.
Okay.
They did a lot of stuff. Even to this day, they've been on Wayne. I don't know how they did it. I really don't know how they did it, but they got connected with Nas. Like, no cap. Look him up. It's called Mulatto. They've been on Wendy Williams, Jimmy Kimmel. Shit. Even to this day, recently, Nas had a tour or whatever. He had some type of tour he had going on. My brother, like, she was the main keyboard, like, person.
All right.
Like, what's up?
Tapped in.
This is crazy. So that's how I got into it. And then 20 years old, when the jerk movement started coming out,
Oh,
you know
okay.
what I'm saying?
Teach me
You're
how
a
to
jerk.
Teach me how
You're
to
a
jerk.
jerk.
Teach
All
me how to
that.
jerk.
Shout out to F3rd, man. He like the godfather. That's why I call him the godfather of the jerk movement. But that happened. I was just playing around. I remember Tay came to the studio. We did a song. That's when he was at his peak, too. Came to the studio. Boom. We made a song. I still wasn't serious. Then 25. Something just hit again. And it's crazy. I'm keep saying his name, but Tay F3rd, my first video was LA Nights. I took it serious. We made a song. I actually paid him for the feature. couple $100 because he was signing, he was doing his thing, shot a video. And then from there, I never looked back. I just never looked back.
Been at it ever since.
And out of all the homies that started when I was 20, I mean, nobody does music. My best friends. Shout out Keenan. Shout out Marcus. Shout out D. Marley. Shout out Ramon. Y'all niggas suck. Y'all niggas know y'all suck, but I love y'all to death. And I'm still going with it. My friend, those my brothers, though.
Yeah.
I'm
They know you just talking shit.
I'm just talking shit. They know. But I'm still going with it. And, you know, it's been 6-7 years, and I'm still, you know.
Still here, man. Persistence is key. It's really just consistency.
It really is. It's crazy. So we're going to bring our guest on real quick. All right, cool, man. So, like we promised earlier, we have Professor Chambers. You know what I'm saying? This is my guy. What's up, bro? How you
What's
doing?
going on, boss? How you doing? How you doing, Molly Mawlz?
I'm
I
great.
appreciate
Thank
you
you for
guys
being here
having me,
today.
man. Great energy, great podcast content so
Appreciate
far,
it.
man. I'm happy to be here.
Appreciate it. We appreciate you being here, man. And instead of me introducing you, just introduce yourself and just
Absolutely.
You know.
So, just for starters, I'm a professor. Been going on a year, you know. So basically, I kind of created a lane that I kind of got. I failed my way into it. I kind of fall into place sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
God put me in a good position. So to just kind of give you guys the rundown, you know, I was never a straight A student, right? Normally when you think of academia, you think of the students, the people that really crave learning, and they're just kind of like the nerd life, and it's like, that's what they live for, right? I graduated high school 2003, barely. So this is before you had, you know, the J.
He's a
Coles
professor
and the
now.
Drakes, and it was
crazy.
cool to be smart, right?
Yeah.
So us in school, it was like you had to be the class clown, or you would play a sport.
Yeah,
you would
facts.
try to rap, right? Like you would kind of have anything besides being smart. Like it was kind of like you get made fun
was
of if you
corny
had
for
good
being
grades.
smart.
Absolutely, 100%. Right?
Yeah.
And you got these older teachers that were kind of like, I felt like they kind of fed into it. Like they were kind of happy to give you like a passing grade, like, oh, just get a C, you'll be fine. Right? And that's what kind of sets you up in life for like, oh, if I just show up, I'm good.
Do the
like,
bare minimum.
Do the bare minimum, and that works, right? So for my storyline, you know, basically I was never a great student growing up. Mom's kept a lot of books around. She tried to kind of plant those seeds, and it's funny, it all came, you know, full circle as an adult.
Gotcha.
So I graduated high school, and my first thing was, you know, college is not for me, right? Like we all kind of have that thought where it's like, you know, have you guys gotten an F before?
Yeah. In
yeah,
math.
of course.
How did it make you feel?
Horrible.
I didn't give a fuck because I didn't give a fuck.
That's real.
But
I mean, you gotta,
you know, some of the classes you just don't give a fuck. It's
but
like,
did
I
you
gotta
feel
have-
like you were cut to be an academic scholar, right?
No, I was definitely smart.
Right.
And I was definitely in accelerated classes like my whole life. When I got to high school, I got sidetracked with females.
You're a pretty
High
boy,
school,
man. So
leave females alone, bro. They sexy and all that.
Just go to
but
work.
Thank you.
Do your homework, do your
good
homework, do your
grades.
homework.
Trust me, bro.
Right?
So, yeah.
So we
My
had
bad,
the
my
feeling before. We've all had that feeling, right?
true.
You get the F kind of labels you in your mind of
Yeah.
like, I'm not cut for this, right?
Yeah.
The A makes you feel like, okay, perfect. Now I got to protect this, right? I got to like
Yeah.
keep this up. I don't know if I can. And these are the real things that go on through young students' minds, right? So for me, basically, I went straight to the work field, and right after high school, I started making a little bit of money. Now, this is the thing they don't really tell you. Eventually, you hit that ceiling where you're like, okay, this is as good as it gets, right?
Okay.
Older people in the company are like, hey, man, like, you're still young, you know, why don't you go to school, you know? So people kind of pushed it on me, and I kind of, again, God works funny because I really didn't want to do it. I was like, you know what, like school, I'm just not a student. Like I'm not that type of person. So I end up, you know, later on going back to school, go to Cal State Dominguez Hills. Shout out to Go Toros. Shout out to all my Cal State Dominguez Hills, you know, South Bay of LA, right?
Parties
We out
cracking.
here.
I've been to
Always
a couple.
parties,
I've
man.
been to a
Jerking
couple.
like you talked about earlier. You know, the best times, right?
Yeah.
So I end up graduating school a little bit on the later side. I graduate at 26, right? So now I have the piece of paper. I have some work experience. So I'm like, okay, you know, now I can kind of start to mold my adulthood chapter, right?
Yeah.
So I start working. I'd always had in the back of my mind, you know, like the feeling I got when I got my bachelor's degree was like, you know, I'm not done. Like, this isn't the last I'm going to see of school, even though, you know, I was still kind of sold on it, you know?
Yeah.
So now I'm working. I have an old coworker call me. He's like, hey, you know, this is probably like three years ago, a couple years ago.
Okay.
He's like, hey, you know, I got an opportunity. I'm at a company. I think you would be a great fit. You know, just at least come in and interview, right? So he's like, at least just show up and just do this interview, and you can see if you like it, right? So I'm in the interview, and they're going over, you know, the job, they're going over, you know, we're negotiating the salary, we're having the conversation. Now, the one thing that was like a light bulb, right, is like, well, yeah, if you go here, you know, they pay for you to get your master's. So I'm like, wait a minute, what? So you can't really show that that's what you want. You know what I mean? So you're still trying to play it cool and finesse the situation. So I'm like, you know, so you guys throw in education, you know, do I got to pay up front and then you refund me? Like, how does this work?
Yeah, like, do I got to recoup this? Like, what's going on?
Like, there's always some type of fine print. So they were like, well, you know, the funny thing is with these employers, whenever they make you a promise like this, they bank on you not taking advantage of it. Or at least
talk to them. They
bank on you. When they give you this thing, what they'll say is this employer is going to say, I'm going to throw out this free education for you because I know when it comes down to it, you'll drop, right? And I know that you'll stay in this job for a couple years. Now, on the other side, if you finish, I know I have you for as long as you're in this program. So as long as you're in this program, I know you're going to work here and you're going to do your job. And that's what they hit me with. They were like, hey, you know, we're going to give you the master's. Excuse me, you got to do a good job here and you got to get like straight A's. So I'm like, all right, cool. You know, like, let's do this, right? So other people started the program too. You know, they dropped, but I was like, I was hungry. I was like, you know what? Like, this is my one chance to do this for free, right? I had to basically, when I mean grad school is different because you're working full time. You know, you have your own place. I had my financial responsibilities. You know, so basically, I got to the point where I was like, I had to do it, right? So I end up in like one of my last classes, and this is just the craziest situation. Professor's like, hey man, like you're good at taking over a lot of these conversations. Like you should consider being a professor. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? Like I don't even like school. Like why would you even throw that out there? And then he was like, no, like I really want you to think about it. Like
so
you
at
know,
this time you're like,
I was like, no,
like 20,
man, this is recent. I was like 34, so you know, I want to age myself a little bit older, but I was basically like, you know, like I'm not a professor. Like I'm a regular dude that happens to have a degree and about to finish this other one. And they were like, no, man. He was like, you know, you really got to think about it. How many professors look like you? And I was like,
you know what? That's real because
I was like, man, like I was like, man,
how many professors?
I hate the braggy side of this, but it's like,
but it's not braggy.
It's everyone's experienced when you're the only one in a room. You could be the only woman, you could be the only black man, you could be the only.
And representation is important.
Right? Absolutely.
Representation is very important for people to see.
Facts.
100%. So I end up like, okay, I'm gonna take this serious. So right when I finish and I start applying, boom, COVID hits. So it took about a year of just straight grit and grind. And then how it all worked out was I had a dean. I interviewed at a ton of schools, you know, and it was like, man, the deans loved me. And they were like, we just need you to have a little bit of experience and we can give you this role. We'll have you teach this class, you know, and it was like, I just didn't have that foot in. So thankfully, I'm not going to put the school's name out there, but I had a dean that was like, awesome. He was like, he could tell I really wanted it. So he was like, look, I basically went into the interview like I had the job. Like I went in, I had a full presentation. I start kind of like just teaching. And it's funny because I'm referencing now. So I'm talking about Nipsey Hussle's business model. I'm talking about the bars that Jay-Z drops on us. Like, don't be a starving artist, learn the business. So I'm going in there like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm going to bring relevant information.
Something they can relate to.
Because a lot of students now, it's like you don't want to read textbook that's been out for 15 years. You know what I mean? So he's like, you know what, man? I could tell, you know, this is going to be a good investment. Let's try it out. He gives me about 4 days and probably a 400-page textbook to build a class. So I had to build it all from scratch. Like, I mean, I'm up all night. Like, I'm building. I didn't return some of your calls. You know, Don is definitely he's a working businessman that puts out great music. And it was like, I would get the DMs, like, you know, check this out. I was like, all right, I'm going to get back to him. You know, so I ended up doing it. Ended up going on a year. Kept getting asked back.
We were supposed to have a couple photo shoots, too. He shoots great photos.
Absolutely,
it never happened. But that probably was around a time.
But God brought us back for the conversation,
100%,
right? 100%. So we
100%.
come back full circle. So it's definitely been a lot of blessings to get to where I'm at.
So what game do you have for these young people? That's artists, that's business entrepreneurs.
So here's what I can
you're
say.
Talking about SWAT.
We're gonna do a SWOT analysis
Not
right
the
now.
police.
Not the police. So I'm gonna say this one thing, and it's kind of like I'm gonna just drop this bar, and then we're gonna do. I want to do an activity with you guys like I do in the classroom, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So one bar I could say, right? There's education. It could be formal education or self-education.
Okay.
If you're not going with formal, self-educate, right? Take a class online in business or in web development or in marketing. Whatever you're doing, do something where even if you're teaching yourself self-paced, right? Nobody wants to sit still. If you're an artist, you really got to learn the business, right? And sometimes taking an online class, just one, it's kind of like it gives you the leverage of like now, I can go in this meeting and I bring value. You know, I can give you 1 minute of why you should partner with me, right? I bring this type of, absolutely, get it down to a 1 minute. We live in Southern California, so you could bump into anybody walking down the street, and that 1 minute changes your life, right?
It happens every day.
We saw it with Big Sean and Kanye. Like, it's that 1 minute of like, you know, here it is. But the exercise I want to get to, because I've been enjoying myself and I've loved you guys' dialogue, and I kind of took a little note of it, and I want to get both of your perspectives on this. So in marketing, right, I got an MBA, so that's a Master's of Business Administration. Marketing tool, before we go and we spend our money on marketing this podcast, right, we want to really develop what is our formula, what is our objective, right? So the objective, we want to grow. We want to be number one.
Listen up, y'all. Take your notebooks out and take some notes.
We want to grow this business. We want to expand, right? That's our objective here. So we're going to do a SWOT analysis. Right. So what it is the S in SWOT, the S and the W, the first parts, these are internal. So this is our strength and our weakness, right? Gotcha. Now the external side is going to be the opportunities and the threats. So we're breaking in this market. So let me ask you guys, what would you say is the strength of the podcast right now?
The strength is just me personally, when I think about it, the strength is just the idea and pursuing it, and actually the female male perspective.
Huge.
And
bar.
that's just short and simple. That's
P.
That's P.
Yeah, for me, I feel like the strength is that both of us have wide networks of people who we wouldn't necessarily be able to be put in front of if it wasn't for each other.
Facts.
So the outreach into community, the outreach into be able to put people on to share their business, to share whatever their music and what they're trying to do. We really are here for the people, and to put out kind of like that signal, that alert, like, look who's here, look who we got, and y'all should pay attention. So I think that's a strength, because we have, like I said, the conjoined network is everything.
100%. Okay, so in you guys' perspective now, let's take it the other side of the coin, right? Okay. What would you say is the weakness?
The weakness is just that we're at the very beginning and we're kind of learning as we go. It's trial and error. Also, as we go, maybe it's not such a weakness because we're learning and we're getting better, but we do still have more to learn, and I feel like we could also definitely put a little bit more time into the preparation.
Okay, that's fair. That's honest and it's authentic.
I'll run with that. That's 100%.
100% honest, authentic. Now, what opportunity do we have in this market?
All right, so the opportunity we have is sky's the limit. I mean, the opportunity is there. Like I said,
the opportunity is reaching people. The opportunity is being able to not only meet new people to include into our networks, but also to branch out, get new fan bases, not only for ourselves, but for our guests, and to learn, like just like we're learning right now from the professor. Like, he's dropping some real knowledge on us too, not just y'all.
And at the same time, it's not about money. The opportunity is to monetize an idea we had that probably can take care of generations. You never know what idea you can have that could just blossom, and you never know.
Absolutely.
It's an opportunity. It's 2022.
Absolutely, 100%.
Subscribe.
Let the people know. Let the people know.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say would be a threat in the market, right? It could be other podcasts that are like, you know, now people pop up and it's kind of like a stolen carbon copy, right? Guy, girl.
I would say just the saturation of podcasts, because I feel like up until the COVID and the whole Zoom becoming the way we communicate, there wasn't as many podcasts. Like, people found a way to spend their time doing that during COVID, and now a bunch of them have cropped up. So I think it's just the saturation of the market.
Right, but they're not y'all.
True.
So let's get that clear right now.
They might have the recipe, but they don't have the sauce.
I would say the threat is up top. If you doing podcasts, it's radio. Radio is kind of your threat. I mean, but it's honestly, podcasts has took over radio. So I won't say it's a threat, but it's still like the same thing.
Just competition.
It's a lot of. It's not even competition, because they'll never be Mawlz And Donn.
They couldn't be, right?
They can't
but
be y'all.
at the end of the day,
we can never be y'all.
In the general sense of business terminology, though, there's competition.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Fair, right? And that's the conversations 100%. We have, right? So when you guys go into this corporate boardroom, they pull out the business execs. These are the conversations that they'll have, right? So I just want you guys' opinion. We'll go one at a time. What should be the focus out of the SWOT analysis? Like, what should we focus on?
I think, honestly, you should focus on the threats. Don't matter, because you stay in your own lane. You do what you do. Your strengths are your strengths. That's your God-given talent. I say you focus on your weaknesses and make them strengths. That's my opinion. That's what
I would say. I say focus on the opportunities. I would say figure out how to best utilize what you have in order to gain more opportunity. And then also working on the weaknesses. Like I said, the preparation is key. Just really putting a lot of thought and detail orientation into the preparation, I think, is for me.
And your biggest weaknesses could be better than somebody's strengths. It could be your weakness, but somebody could be like, "Damn, I wish I had that weakness."
Very true. Very
That's a
true.
good point.
100%.
Perspective is everything.
I like both answers. I think that the biggest strength, or my biggest takeaway, is that I'm gonna give you both your flowers. That you guys have created a great situation for the feminine masculine energy conversation, right? You guys talk about the relationships, the Kanye situation, right? America, we love the male female, right? We love celebrity couples. Like that's what people eat up. Like that's the big takeaway, right?
Yeah.
So in my opinion, you know, I think that it's awesome that you have one person that focuses on the detail, right? The opportunity. How are we gonna like really articulate and really crack into this market and other markets? You got someone else who's like, hey, look, like as men, a lot of the time, like we want to be the strongest, the most, you know, top of the totem pole, but we have to kind of like, hey, we're only strong as the weakest link, right? We got to kind of build on. We have to have those tough conversations, right?
You honestly as strong as the one beside you.
Man,
And like I said, this is my dog.
we love to
For
see
all
it,
you
man.
perverts out there, it's not like that.
It's not like that.
This is my dog.
This is the homie.
We're going to say that's right on the second episode. But I'm only as strong as my co-host. You know what I'm saying?
And
100%.
exactly, like we got to back each other up, and just like we do our back and forth in our conversation, that's how when the cameras are turned off, that's how we are every day on the phone. That's how we are getting ready to prepare these shows for y'all. That's how we are trying to call up these guests and figure out who y'all want to hear from. So like, you know, a lot goes into it.
A lot.
100%. Well, I'm hoping that I'm gonna be a guest at another point as well, and try to sprinkle some more, you know, tips and tools I've learned along the way.
Nah,
you know,
I appreciate you.
I would
Josh,
love to be
man.
back, man. I would
Oh,
love
we
to
would
be
love to
asked
have you
back.
back.
No, we're gonna have you
have
back
these
probably
conversations.
every other month or every month or
Just
I think
have me
he has
pop
some good
in,
insight.
right?
And before we head out with you, one last question for you.
Absolutely.
I know we have a little tiny bit of time left.
Oh, okay,
So
for sure.
to leave them with something, as far as, okay, so new artists coming up, they're trying to figure out, like, how do I brand myself? Like, what does that even mean? What would be your top 3 tips for beginning to brand yourself as a new artist?
So, brand yourself. I'm big on strength, right? So the reason why I'm gonna say this is because when you go into starting a business, right? You hire a project manager, right? We're gonna run XYZ. We have a budget and we have an amount of time. We might make the amount of time but go a little bit over budget, right? But my thing I'm focused on is the good. Like, okay, we killed it with the time. We're gonna keep improving on this, right? The weaknesses will take care of themselves a lot of times. So if you're R&B or if you're a rapper and you have a niche, focus on that. Like, don't try to be everyone's everything
all at once.
Right, definitely.
Not everyone's gonna, like, your music ain't gonna be for everybody. Just accept it now.
100%. My other word would be value. Like if I'm
What do
Puff
you
Daddy,
provide?
if I'm Puff Daddy and you have 1 minute of my time, I need to know that that's something valuable. I'm gonna get my return on investment.
First
So
30
you gotta
seconds.
have a real quick way to express to your who you want to meet. You know, hey, here's what I do, and sometimes it's not even the numbers. Sometimes it's something organic, right?
So we got 2 and a third one.
One more thing.
I would say definitely for the third
we
one.
got strength, we got value.
Right. I think one thing that I got tatted on me was persevere, because like I said,
that part.
like me coming in the academic world, right? No one really knows this, but I failed the 8th grade. So I had got straight Fs. And then I ended up graduating on time because I had to take night class at continuation school and go to regular school.
Perseverance.
So my thing is that you got to deal with these doors getting slammed in your face, and it's not personal.
Right.
I got a year of me getting rejected from jobs. You guys get all this time. You know, it's for you to get where you are, you had to overcome a lot of rejection. And if you don't have the thick skin to deal
And
with
to
that,
continue going.
right. And
Just,
it's
if you give up, you're never gonna get nowhere.
You hear
100%.
this, man?
Those are my tips, man. That's what I have for you from my
Those are some
perspective.
great tips.
Professor Chambers.
I appreciate
You know what
y'all.
I'm saying?
Thank you, Professor
Tap
Chambers,
in
for being with
y'all.
us.
Plug your Instagram real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's _J_O_CHAM. Trying to keep myself discreet for my students. I do have a
Your
YouTube.
students don't. Come on.
Leave
man.
him alone. You'll see him in class.
I have a YouTube. I put up some little tips from my classroom. So it's Professor Chambers on YouTube. Just quick little videos for fun. You know, hey, here's what
Gotcha.
I talked about in class today. I did a SWOT analysis on one of them. So
Gotcha.
let's run it back.
Appreciate you, man.
Oh, most definitely, man. I appreciate you guys
Thank
having me.
you.
Mawlz Donn, the
Hey,
best.
hopefully
the best.
you guys enjoyed this episode, man.
Mawlz and Donn.
You feel
So
me?
thank you guys for getting on with Mawlz and Donn. We filming every Friday night and we releasing every Sunday at 10.
That's what it is. And now it's time to turn up and go
Shot
to
o'clock,
session.
baby.
Shout out J Classic, man. My dog. That's episode 2 down, baby.
The same, not to shame, it's alright. Release me to the night, I'll be just fine.
I like that.
You already
already know.
That was dope.
That was a vibe, man.
that was
I thought it
dope.
was good, man. I thought I talked fast, but I thought it was pretty.
It was good. It was good. It was solid.